once again, my dear friends and colleagues. Welcome to another video tutorial in our Moodle training course. In this video, we will be adding some student-centered activities within our Moodle course. Here, we can let our students perform several different tasks relevant to the intended learning outcome of the learning module that you are actually creating. But before we dive into our Moodle interface, let's first take a look at some of these items that I have used on one or two occasions. Now, please bear in mind that I myself is also new to this technology. I haven't tried every single item in the list of activities that Moodle provides. That is why these items here are the ones that I will be demonstrating in this video. Firstly, with assignments, you can tell your students in text, graphics, or even video of what they need to perform, and of course what is expected of them from this activity. Now, the student output coming from an assignment item is a file. It can mostly be a text written into Moodle itself or a Word document. It can also be an audio recording, a video, any file you can think of that would best represent the output of the student based on the given activity. Let's take a look at how we can create an assignment. Of course, you go to the course that you are trying to create an assignment from, specifically into that particular module. In my case here, I will have a Java single dimensional array module for the first week. And right now, these were the things that we have added in our phase 1, which are all resources. Next thing we are going to add are activities. So you can click on add an activity or resource, and here are all the activities that Moodle provides. Like I said earlier, I haven't tried them all. Here's the assignment. Actually, when you click on an item, you can actually read a description of that particular item. It even has some description of the actual use for it. So click on assignment, click on add, give it an assignment name. For example, assignment 1. Then description, please perform the following, and blah blah blah. Make sure that you click on display description on course page, and here is where you can add some files if you want. Maybe you have a case study and written in a Word document where your question is based upon, or maybe a graphics such as a picture or a flow chart where the activity is based on. You can add files here. Since this is files, it can be any file, a Word document, a picture, an audio, a video. And then here is the availability. Now this is an assignment for the August 17 to August 23 week. Probably I would be asking them to perform this on August 22, and they're expected to finish maybe on August 24, so you can have that time frame. So allow submission from, you can say August 22. You have the time. 00 means 12 a.m. and then the due date would be on August 24. Well, of course, it's up to you how you are going to design your time frame. Again, the cutoff date is the date wherein Moodle will no longer be accepting submissions from this particular assignment. It is by default disabled. And reminder of when you will be grading this particular assignment, because this has to be done yourself. The grading of an assignment has to be done yourself. So since it is due on 24th, I'd like to be reminded to grade this on the 25th. Then the submission type. Based on your activity here, you have perform something, whatever you're expecting them to submit, this is where you can design it. If it is just a simple text that you're expecting from your students, you can have them type it online here, online text. Or if it's not just a text, you have to use file submission so that students can submit any file, as I've mentioned earlier. Then you have a maximum number of uploaded files depending on what you're expecting out of this particular activity. I can have maybe 1 or 2, and you can have the upload limit. Now you have to be mindful of the upload limit. Don't use irrelevant upload limits. If you're expecting students to submit just a Word document, say 3 pages, 5 pages, 40 megabytes is already a very large allocation for a simple Word document. But if you're expecting them to submit a video file, 40 megabytes can be a small allocation. So bear that in mind. After that, since we are selecting file submission, we have to also select what type of files you're expecting from your students. If you're expecting them video, you can choose here, and you have here audio files, archives, video files. Okay. If you are expecting them a video file, click on that video file, go to the bottom and save changes, and this will all be the file types that will be accepted in this particular submission. But if you wanted to, if you're expecting them some documents, you can also use document files instead and save changes. Now for feedbacks, if you want to do feedbacking of the answers that your students have, can have it in a comment line, yes, or here are feedback types that are by default there. Submission settings, well, you can just leave this as it is, but if you want to really, you can really fine-tune things here, and you can read what these items mean right here. Okay. Now for sections, for classes with several sections, especially several sections and several teachers, you have when you designed your courses, you have your groups enabled. We can check here if we are going to do the groupings by section. You have to do this because teachers will be assigned to a particular section, and by doing this, the teachers assigned to a section will only be the ones to score for that particular section. So students submit in groups, yes. Required group to make submissions, yes, or whatever that is that you want here. In my case, I'll just leave it no. Then the grade is going to be points. How much is the point? Maybe I give it 20 points. And this is simple grading. If you want, you can also provide a rubric. Of course, most of the time it is expected that you have a rubric for things like this. Okay, and you have to assign this a particular category. So I'm gonna put this in the participation. For the first participation is probably for midterm participation. Okay. Grade to pass, if it's 20, maybe I'll have 15. Okay. So just read on these items here. Blind marking, meaning students will not see your marks until the end. So everything else, restrict access, here is where you can add restriction. So you can add restriction according to must and must not. So this is where you can do restrictions for sectioning. We'll have a separate video for teachers having the same teaching the same course in different sections. Arita there is a restrict access ani. But for now, I'll have no restrictions. And then save and return to course. Okay, so that's how your assignments are created. On the side of the students, again, if you want to see how it would look like on the part of the students, you click on here and switch role to student. And this is how it's going to look like when the student clicks on the assignment 1. He sees this. Alright, and here's where you can add, they can add comments. Of course, the student cannot submit yet because it's not yet opened. It is going to open paman on Saturday, August 22. So I will not be making this video too long. So for now, this is creating assignments. Next time, we will be focusing also on other things like adding quiz, chat, feedback, forum on separate videos. Thanks again for watching.